Hello, this is my minecart system. It uses no powered rails. It's just as fast as powered rails, and it can travel infinitely. So this is the engine. It's 4 minecarts inside of each other. You acquire this by just placing 4 inside of each other on the side of a rail, and you can push it into a station like this. The way this station works is pretty simple. It just stops the momentum and has it land here. A piston will push it out, and since this rail is going down diagonally, it will start the engine and make it go forever in whatever direction you want. So the best thing about the best thing to do is have the minecart it's going to push already in motion. But if you're not going to do that, I recommend having a rail in between it and the corner, and the engine will then easily push it. This is a recovery system I made, so the minecart you're inside or want to push will go on while the engine returns to its station. It's pretty simple. A detector rail, an inverter in this case, because rails are sometimes dependent on the directions, north, east, west, and south. And it's a 4-tick delay. Also, the detector should have a rail in between it and this thing where it changes direction. It can also travel on the ground. If it travels straight forward, it's slower than walking, but if you travel diagonally, it's way faster than walking. It's actually a tiny bit faster than sprinting, and it requires no rails, so if it's for extreme distances, you can just build a flat path either underground to keep no mobs there, or overworld, but then you need to fence in the area and flatten it out. It can also go through water, which is nice, but that's not if it's just getting a slightly push. To go on the ground and through water, it has to have the engine pushing it at all times, which has a higher chance of disrupting the engine. So I would recommend just having one of these bad boys every 150 blocks around that, because then it will keep about the same speed as powered rails all the way. It's a really effective way of getting long distances or somewhere. The only redstone is for all the redstone components. You don't need gold at all for this. It makes gold kind of useless. But summed up, the pros are it can travel on rails, it can travel on the ground, it can travel underwater, or on the ground underwater. It will float down in the water, so if you're going to have it underwater, have a flat ground it can go on, unless if you don't, it's going to stop. Another pro, it's on rail, it's as fast as constantly having powered rails. On the ground diagonally, you require no rails, and it's a tiny bit faster than sprinting. So you can get extreme distances at sprinting speed. The only other con is the engine can be disrupted, but I haven't seen this happen when all these rules are followed. Keeping the minecart with one rail between the corner here, and this recovery system. And you can have 3 or 5 minecarts inside of each other as well, but 4 has been the most stable one for me. I think that has covered all of the bases, and if you're kind of okay with redstone, you can figure out how to fit all of this into a system which makes sense. This is just a really rough and really messy way, because I was testing out speed and all of that. One last notice is it can travel up 20 blocks if you're inside of the minecart, or if a chest is inside of the minecart. And then it requires to go down or get another push. And yeah, the maximum distance is 270, but at that point it will be really slow. So again, recommend you make one of these stations every 100 or 150 blocks away if you want it to just get pushed once. You will need no stations if you want the engine to continue pushing all the way to your destination. But then there's no minecarts here for the next person to use. So it all depends on whether or not other people will use it or whatever you prefer.